Hello there, blade lovers. It's been just a little while. I've been busy lately, traveling, work stuff. Yeah, I got a day job I got to keep up. Helps to finance some of the stuff that you guys are watching and hopefully enjoying. Anyway, I recently received something from White Mountain that I think you'll be interested in. What is hiding in the box? Well, if you saw the thumbnail, it's no surprise. We have another massive Maxace knife to show you. And Maxace, amongst a number of other manufacturers, is really knocking it out of the park lately. I wanted to show you what this comes in, this little Tupperware here. So, without further ado, I was going to undo those latches. Let's reveal. And this is what you get. A whole set of hardware. Very nice. The bag that the knife came in. Maxace Company card. Congratulations on your new knife. And here we have the Pterosaur, and I'm going to call it Pterosaur without the P. I think that's the correct pronunciation. It's a bird-like prehistoric dinosaur sort of creature. Not too much different than a pterodactyl, but the Pterosaur looks more like what they and those bird-like creatures evolved into. And I ain't going to get off a tangent on that because I don't know much about it. Here's a microfiber cloth, the hardware I showed you, and finally the massive Maxace Pterosaur. Box out of the way. Check this out. Kind of a very, what I call, industrial look. Like a lot of the Reich knives, like a lot of the Todd knife and tool designs by Best Tech and I had a choice here of going with the blue hardware. I thought it would make a nice kind of accent to the rest of the knife, and I think indeed it does. We have what almost looks like an integral backstrap, but it's not really a backstrap. It is a part of the knife. It's actually integral with the knife, but it's a separate part. You can see it's held in with these 3 screws. Look like Torx T8s. Haven't checked it. Knife's still fairly new to me, so we're all exploring it together. Got these little slots cut in there that kind of, again, remind me of some of the Todd knife and tool designs, maybe some of the Reich designs as well. Got this dot pattern and a thick blade with double thumb stud. Alright. Oh yeah. And a removable glass breaker. Looks like it's removable anyway. Let's open this dinosaur up. Oh. There's the Tanto. And is that ever a chisel style pointed Tanto? Huge fuller in here, and we can't open it with the fuller because that fuller is gone when the knife is closed. Even some of you guys with skinny fingers I don't think could do it, but you could reverse flick it with the thumb stud. There we go. Very awkward for me. Don't know why I would do it other than to show off or whatnot. And if I can't do it, I can't show off, right? That's my primary opening right there. I like the thumb on the thumb stud. What can I say? Nice swedge on the top. Got the fuller going again. Got a compound grind up here for the tip. Very thick and meaty tip, so you guys that may be concerned about tip frailty, I don't think we're going to have that issue here. The light may make the grind look a little off. It is not. It's just the way my light's coming through. We've got an equal swedge on each side. Yep, they do a pretty good job. But sometimes the way the light casts light and shadow, especially with my studio type lighting here, that may look a little bit off. Trust me, it's not off. We're going to measure it up in a minute because it is a massive, huge knife and it's got some weight to it. So we're going to find out about that as well. So what the hey, let's get into it. How big is this sucker? And by the way, this is just out and just available. It's up on White Mountain Knives, coming in just under 300, 288, something like that. I will put the link in the description. To the glass breaker tip, it is 9 1/4 inches. And it is slightly less if we swing over here, maybe 9 1/8 if we swing over to the pommel of the knife. Oh, the blade. How big is the blade? That is the important thing. Oh, it is like 4.1. Can't hang on. It is like, I'm going to call it a 4.1 inch blade. I think that's what they are calling it. And if I reach over here for the calipers, it's set to millimeters. Let's check the blade stock. 4.2 millimeter blade stock, plenty thick. Switching to inches, 0.16. And grabbing the handle right there, 0.63, fairly wide, but not crazy. I mean, I think you can carry it without it being too thick in the pocket. Depends upon what you're carrying it in. 511s, jeans, what have you. Okay, well, it's that time. Ta-da! 6.7 ounces. Told you it wasn't light. 6.7 ounces. Steel is M390, as they billboard over here. There's the name of the knife, Pterosaur, Bowler M690. Full titanium handle. The only two versions of this are, at least that White Mountain was carrying, is with the blued hardware and with the gray hardware. So if you don't like the blue, you can eliminate that. I kind of like it. Anytime you got an all gray knife, it can be very nice, but it can also be kind of boring. Let's see. Action is pretty much dropped shut. It's on bearings. Whether they're double row or not, I'm not sure. It's one thing did they give me extra bearings in here? No. Everything but. Got a hardened steel insert extra. We got some of the tubes. All of the hardware specific to the knife. So whether or not that'll wear out, we don't know. Could be because if something loosens and you don't have it Loctited in, you might need a replacement. But that is the Pterosaur. Check it out again. It's a beaut. It is a beaut. The glass breaker's not bad. Kind of fits the overall industrial craziness of the knife. How about some comparisons? First one I want to compare it to is the M2 from Reich. And why do I want to compare it? Well, you can see, getting a little closer, you can see a lot of the same kind of design language here. Different profile, yes, different blade, all that stuff. But if you look at the handle and what they did, stone-washed handle, all that crazy geometric cutout, very similar here. Very similar. Design language, we say. And for size and beauty, hard to beat the Corvus 3, also by Maxace. And you can see they're almost dead on. The Corvus 3s may be coming out at like 4 1/4 inches instead of 4.1. But just a crazy knife with zirconium onlay handles. Makes it also weigh a ton, even heavier, I think, than the Pterosaur. There's dinosaur namings. But this is a beauty. Real beautiful, smooth action knife. The Corvus 3. And let's see how it fares against the Goliath 2. Is the Goliath still the Goliath of the bunch? Oh yeah. By about an inch overall, and bigger blade. Blade on the Goliath 2, this is the original version. Well, not original because it's 2, but yeah, I mean, we're coming up to 4.5 on this guy versus 4.1 here. So the Goliath is still a Goliath and still drops shut. I'm going to close up the, yeah, okay. More comparisons? Sure, why not? Griptilian. Well, Griptilian's looking a little smallish. It's a little embarrassed if we're going just for size, but probably for some of you more usable size. About 1.5 inches longer on the Pterosaur. And how about that extremely large Rat 1 from Ontario? How does it size up? Well, it's giving it a little more run for the money. Strictly talking size, about 3/4 of an inch shorter than the Pterosaur, and definitely lighter. So if you're into this kind of knife, I think, well, let's talk about the jimping. We didn't talk about the jimping. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Cosmetic only. Well, you got a pretty good grip on the knives. Let's talk a little about ergos while we're talking about the jimping. It is contoured right in through here, and we've got a kind of a chamfer there, and then we have almost a hexagonal, half of a hexagonal shape on the backspacer. I'll have to call it a backspacer, excuse me, for lack of a better word, because it kind of fits in there like a backspacer. Gives it an integral look at when you first check it out, though. The ergos, about 1 inch left over, and you know, plenty of room for my thumb on that flat. That's not going to bite the thumb too much, but will you get a little side-to-side slippage? Yeah, probably, possibly. Does jimping prevent side-to-side slippage? Not usually that much. So jimping really only gives you traction front to back. Keep that in mind. So you see a knife without jimping, you know, don't fret too much, because unless you're concerned about that kind of traction, it isn't really going to give you, it's not going to keep your thumb from sliding off to the side. At least not in my experience. Maybe in yours it helps you. I think it's good that they put the fuller in there, but even though it doesn't give you very much use, it does give you some style points, and it is heavily textured in there, almost pebble textured. I believe that's extra work for them to do that. I'm not sure what type of machinery produces the texture there. Great grinds, satin grinds on the Tanto tip. Really nice job. So there you have it. Hope I hit all the points. Hardened steel insert on the lock bar, etc., etc. Smooth, smooth action. Gave it just a little hit of oil, and I think that helped the action, although it wasn't stiff by any means. Got a good sized pin there for those concerned about the lockup. That's basically a support in there. That pin is not touching anything that I can see, although, yeah, I see what it does. So it's a stop in your closed position. So that's your stop in the closed position. That's your stop pin in the open position. Rock solid like a fixed blade. Really, really good. And Maxace does a great job with that. I've never come across a loose or wobbly Maxace, although it's always possible. Well, there you go. Brand new on the market, maybe still available up at White Mountain. That is the Pterosaur by Maxace. Hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Be back with you soon.